Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So before we jump onto the video, today's video, right, I'll give you two heads up. First of all, this video might get a bit longer, so please try to stick on to the end of the video, because the second heads up is this video might be helpful for you, right? So try to stick on to the video till the end, otherwise take a break in between and watch it, right? So now coming back to the video, right? So just a second. Yeah, so coming back to the video, right? Today we are gonna I'm gonna create a service activity, right, which will use to create a case, right? And since I have mentioned this is going to be a service activity, right, so what you need to you can plug in this activity anywhere, right? Like in this, for this video sake, I will be using an example of my previous video, which was where I created an email listener. So I would be plugging it there, but feel free to plug it in anywhere, like in file listener or maybe any service rule, right? So this is not completely restricted to email listener, which I would be using in this for demo purpose only. So feel free to use it anywhere and explore more, right? So now coming back to this, right? So I'll just quickly share my screen. Yeah. So in my previous video, I had created one email listener, right, which was this one. If you haven't watched my previous video, feel free to watch it there. I will put the link on the top so you can go there easily, right? So coming back to the email listener itself, so this was the email listener which we created in the previous video, right? And what we were doing, like, I'll just give a quick context. So we were trying to get a mail, like whatever the mail we were sending to the email account, which was associated with this email listener, right? We were storing the data into our data type, right? That's what we did in our previous video. So in this video, but this is not an ideal scenario or business scenario, right? Like storing the email data in a data type, right? So in general, what we do is, like, we try to create a case using the email, right? Whenever the email listener picks up an email, it try to create a case. In general, this is what we do in business, right? So for that, I have created a small case type. I'll show you once. So it's a very small case type, just a single step case type. I'll just quickly run this as well to show you. Okay, so this is a case type, right, which I have created. This has only two properties, name and city, for this demo purpose. Feel free to add on more steps for you as well, right? So what we want to do is, like, when we're sending an email, so instead of storing the data in the data type, we will try to create a case automatically, right? So for that, we had this service method rule, right, and service activity. So we'll modify our activity. Earlier it was pointing to email data class, right? So since we want to create a case, so I'll change the class to work class, and my class name is, case type name is email listener, which is this one, right? I'll just quickly take a drop down and verify it once. Yes. So over here we want to create this one, right? So I'll just quickly click on this. Perfect. Now coming to the request as well, we have to change this. Since I don't have this property in my work class, if you see, right, so we have to create this property in the work class. I quickly create these properties. Perfect. And similarly, I'll create a subject property in the work class. Perfect. And this take time as well. Since we are not storing, I don't think we need this. I'll just delete this maybe. And then body we require, right? So I'll create this body one as well, and create an open, save, and we're good, right? So now, since we have made all the changes, now we have to again change the create the activity as well. So I will write this, create a new activity called create case from listener. Okay, this is the activity which we're gonna use. So I'll just quickly create this activity as well. Create and open, and I'll just quickly save it for a moment. And over here, all the changes are done. So I'll save this. So we have modified the service email rule and we have made it point to the work class, right? And we have created activity and changes the request as well, which are all corresponding to the work class. Perfect. Now coming to the activity, right? So as I mentioned you that we want to create a case, right, automatically. So the first and foremost step I will write, there is an OOTB activity called SVC add work object, right, which is used to create a work object of a class, right? So I will add this step. Now this, if you see, this activity takes certain parameters, right, to create a case. So for that we need to add certain parameter as well. So I will just add a step above, insert above, property set I will do, and now we will pass this parameters, right? So the first parameter is param dot flow type, right? So type. The second is param dot organization. The third one is param dot work of page, work page. Perfect, right? And the values that now we have to give, right? So for the flow type we will give py start case. So I hope you would be knowing that this is the flow which is used to create a case, right? When a case is created, this flow gets called, right? So that's why I've given py start case. Organization, in my scenario, if you see over here under app, my organization is my org, so I will be giving my org. So you have to change it accordingly as per your application. Under work page, I will be giving py work page, of course. Perfect. Now again, in the pages and classes, I'm going to define a temporary page, which is say my work page, and the class would be again same, my org. Just a second. I don't know, it stuck. Okay, so this was the class, right? Okay, where did it go? This one. I don't know why it's so slow. Okay. Work and email listeners. Perfect. So this is the class, and the reason I created this class is because I will be creating the case on the context of this. I'll just cancel this. So we are good over here, and I will pass these parameters since we have already defined them, param, right? And at the last, I would add one more step, which would be page remove, and I will give my work page. Perfect, right? I'll quickly save this. So let's save this. I hope it's got saved, right? I'll just collapse all the steps for a moment. Perfect. So if you see right now, we have only 3 instances, right, of the email listener class. So let's quickly run this activity manually and see whether if it is working or not, right? So let's quickly run this activity just to check whether it is running or not. So run it. Okay, I've got successful. I'll close this. Why am I every time when I'm running this, my Safari is getting closed? I will open the Safari again. Just a second, guys. I think I'll pin this. Just a second. I don't know why my Safari is behaving very weird. I'll just pin this out maybe. Keep it lock. Perfect. So let's check whether the case has been created or not. Let's check. So if you see over here, now the 4 cases are there. So this is the newest one which has been created, right? So there are no, since there was no data, so this is how the case got created, right? So we are good at here, right? But this is not what you expect from me, right? You will be saying, come on, this is very easy, you can do better, right? That's what she said. But anyway, we will not get into that, what she said, right? We will go get back into pega, right? So this is kind of easy, right? We just created an activity which will be creating our case. But now we will just level it up, right? Let's level it up. So where is the email listener? This was our email listener, right? So now what we want to do is, like, suppose when the user will be sending the email, right, we will be getting the email body under, if you remember correctly, right, under my service page in the property body, right? So we will have the body. So now suppose when I'm sending an email, right, and I have the body, right, so we want to extract the data, say, like if you would have seen, right, and when we were creating the case, we had 2 fields, right? This name and city. So user has sent already the name and city in the email body. We want to extract the data and map them accordingly, right, under name and city, correct? So this is what we want to do. Like, we will want to extract the data from the email body and put it over here and create a case automatically. Let's try to do that, right? So I will get back to our activity again, which is the main thing, right? Perfect. So let me add one more step where I will be again storing the parameters, say property set. Perfect. And as I told you earlier, right, we are getting the data under my service page, right? So I'll just quickly copy this, and I will paste this over here, similarly over here as well. And I'll copy this class, paste it over here. So my service page dot, we need body, right? Since the body will be having all the data, and we'll store it for a moment in the parameter called param body. Say perfect, right? Now how do we extract it? That's the main question, right? That's the main. Just a second. That's what we want to know. So for that, there's a rule. I'll just quickly show you. We're gonna try something new, right? So if you go to decision, there's a new rule called text analyzer, right? I'm gonna create this rule. Say text analyzer. Say extract email body, and it would be belong to my email listener class. Let's create and open it, right? So this rule will help us to extract the data. So I'm not going to explain the text analyzer rule over here, because if I will explain, then the video will get too long and it would be altogether different topics. Maybe in some other video I will explain this. For now, I'll just quickly put the values over here and try to show you what we are actually wanted to do, right? And some other video I will explain you how the text analyzer works. So over here we just want to extract the text, right? So I'll check on this, enable text extraction, and pega provides few extraction model to get the values, right? So we want to get the names. So for getting the name, we have this model called py person. I will add it quickly. Submit, right? So pega provides a machine learning model called py person, which helps us to get a name, extract the name from a text. Similarly, we want city, right? So we get py location. So again, this is again a model which is helps us to extract city name from a text, right? And there are, like, if you see, there are many extraction model as well, but there are, like, in certain scenario you have to create your own custom model. That also I will make some another video maybe, but for today let's keep it like this. Just a second. Py location, this is for city. I will add it quickly. Perfect, right? So we have added two of the extraction models. Now coming to the IO mapping, let's create a property. So I'll take say input text. Maybe I'll quickly create this property. Create and open and save it. So this is a property which will be going inside, and for the output over here, just a second, py and NLP outcomes should be fine. And let me save this. Perfect, it got saved, right? So I'll just quickly give you an example, like how does it work, right? So I'll just quickly run this extraction model, text analyzer. So suppose if I'm running it, right, I will write a sentence. Say my name is Anujyadav. I live in Bangalore. Perfect, right? I quickly run it. So as soon as I run, you will see that it will be able to extract the name and city from here. So I'll just run it. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. See, it has already it has already figured out the name and Bangalore. It got it from the text. It was able to get the values, name and city, right? So this is what we needed, right? Perfect. So we have already configured this part. What is happening? Why my Safari is getting closed every time? Sorry guys, I don't know why my Safari is behaving so weirdly. Again, I have to log in. Come on, man. Oh, perfect. So guys, as I was saying, right, we have configured our text analyzer, right? Yeah, perfect. So this is our text analyzer, right? So we are good with our text analyzer. So now coming back to our activity. So now we have got the body. So what we need now, I hope you would be able to know what I am trying to do. So we have got the body. Just we need to pass this body and inside our text analyzer, and it will get us the output, and we need to map the output to the name and city property of our work page, right? So sounds easy, right? And it is easy, right? So I'll just quickly add one more step to, there's an activity called call extract. So guys, there's an activity called px extract, I guess. I don't remember the name. Px extract or maybe px run text. Just a second, guys. I don't remember the name. Run text. This one, px run text analyzer, right? So guys, there's an activity called OTB activity, px run text analyzer. This activity helps us to call our text analyzer and get the extracted data from it, right? So if I will expand this step, right, it takes several parameters as input, right? NLP model ID applies to class and input. So let's quickly pass on this. So NLP model ID will basically be our text analyzer name, so which is our, in our case, extract email body. I'll just quickly copy this and paste it over here, right? Paste it. Similarly, the applies to class will be the class of our this textanalyzer, right, which is again the work class in our scenario. So I'll just quickly copy this from here, right? Just a second, and I'll paste it over here. Now coming to input, right? So in our scenario, our input will be param.body, right? Param, because the body will contain the information, right? So I'll just write param.body, and let's save this, and we'll get the output in the param.output, right? Ideally. Now since we'll get the output from here, now we are left with one more step, which is mapping the output of this extracted output to our work page, right? So before doing that step, I'll just quickly like to show you something. So let's try with us whether it is able to extract the data from textanalyzer or not, right? So for that we need to pass certain in the body. So for the moment I'll hardcode something. Let's say my name is Anujyadav, just for testing out, guys, this activity whether it is running fine or not, right? So let's run it and trace it as well. I'll just quickly click on run. Let's wait for some time. Okay, done. Let's see on the tracer. Perfect. Now I scroll down to the bottom. So this was the step, right? This one, this is the step end, right? So if you open the step guides, run record primary page, right? If you over here, you'll see under there's a property called pynlp outcome, and if you remember, this property was the one which we mentioned in the IO mapping outcome, right? So under this property, we are getting the data under py entities 1. So basically it's a list, and the extracted data is coming under py value, right? See, if you see the name which I got was under py value, and the model name is py model name is py person, right? If you remember, I configured the same over here as well, right? Py person, the model name. So using this we can create our logic, right? So I'll just quickly add one more step, right? So what we need to do is, right, guys, we need to loop over these entities because we will be getting city as well, right? So to get the value over here, so I'll just quickly add the steps in my activity. Say I'll go for a loop, right? Each embedded page, that should do, right? And submit this. Wait, just on. Now over here we should get pynlp outcome, right? Under that we had py entities. Perfect, right? Because this is what it was like, pynlp outcome and py entities. Perfect, right? Now we have to add a child step. So I'll add a child over this under the loop. Under this loop, right, we need to property set. So we'll do property set, and I want to map the name first, right? So for getting the name, so I have to give the my page name, which is my work page, right? So my work page dot name would be equal to what it will be, right, guys? Py value, right? Because we were getting the output under py value, right? This is where we were getting the value, right? Py value. So I'll just quickly add it. Py value. Similarly, I'll add one more step for the city, right? I'll just quickly copy this maybe and paste it over here. Perfect. And but just instead of name, I will write city and py value. Now, this should not run every time, right? So we have to give some conditions. So let's give the condition based on the model name, right? So if the model name is person, then it will be getting the name, right? So let's give it like this. Let me give the name when. Let's enable the when condition. Py model name equals to py person. Just a second. Let it be camel case, right? Then it should continue, otherwise it should skip the step. Perfect. Similarly, I'll give it over here as well. If py model name equals to py location, right guys? That was the name of our second model name, right? Then it should continue, otherwise it should skip the step and submit. Perfect. Let me save this. Right guys, sounds good. Collapse all step. So let's try this out once again. So right now the body is hard coded, right? This, right? So if I just a second. So before running this, I'll just show you. Maybe right now we have 2015 is our newest case, right? So the new case should be the one after running this 2016, right? Let's run this. We'll see. Perfect. Let's ran, right? So let's see whether a new case got created or not. Okay, perfect. 2016 got created, right? Let us open this case, right guys? Let's wait for some time, and if you see over here, the name got extracted but city did not, right? Let's check why. I didn't check it. I have to trace it again. So this is how I want to show that how can you debug as well, right? I know the error, but I'll just show you how to debug, right? So I'll just quickly again run it. Okay, under tracer now it will go, right guys? So if under this you see this condition is getting false, py location under py model name, right? And why is it getting false? Let's check. So if you see under this, right? Yeah, perfect. So the condition was getting false, guys, because if you see my since we have hard coded the value, right, under the activity, I have not given any city name, right? That's why the condition is getting false. I'll just quickly add I live in Bangalore. Just for the demo purpose, guys, I'm hard coding the value, otherwise it will be coming from our email body, right? Now again I will run it. Let's see what happens. Run. Perfect. Test studio, back to test studio, email listener, new case. I hope that this time we get the value. We did not. Why? Let us check again. Come on. Let's see the tracer. It did not get false. Let me check why. So over here, py location, LOCA, model name, py location. Let's check whether our spelling was correct or not. I hope our spelling was correct. Py location, py model name. I have given like this. That's why it got failed. Right, I have to give dot. Let me check if this was perfect. So now let me save it, and if I run it now, now let me check over here. Okay, so we are getting the name and city, right? So right now our activity is working fine. So let us remove this, because in general we won't be hard coding it, right? So let me add again back this my service page dot body and save this. Now we are good to go, like everything is configured, right? Let me close everything for now, and we'll just open our email listener. So where is my listener? Email listener. So this was our listener, right? I will just quickly start it up. So it's already started, I guess. Let me check if the email body is also correct or not. Test connectivity, everything seems fine, guys, right? So let me quickly send a mail. Just a second. Let me quickly send a mail to this. Requestresponse. Where is this? Our mail ID. I'll quickly send a mail. Perfect. Create. So our email id was, let me switch back to this. I forgot the mail id because this is our mail id, right? This is where we need to send the mail. I'll copy this and I'll go back to Gmail and I'll paste it over here. So subject, let it be anything because we are not drilling anything with the subject. Say I will test, maybe test mail. So over here I'll write my name is Anuj. Yeah, I will some other names so that we are able to understand which other case got picked or not, right? So let's say I will say my name is John Doe. I live in California. Perfect, right? Let me send this email. So the email has been sent, guys, right? So let me go back to the over here and let's wait for some time whether the case got created or not. So I have got more the notification on my phone that I have received the mail. So I'll again open this. Let's see if the case has got created or not. Let me refresh. I hope the email listener is running. I'll just quickly check in Admin Studio if our listener is up or not. Otherwise, it would be an issue. Listeners. Oh, okay. So our listener is not up. Let me add our listener. My email is not apply. That's why it didn't pick up. So now I am hoping that it will pick up. One request is also there. Let's quickly go back to our dev and refresh this. Perfect. Let us see whether it was able to. So if you'll see, guys, since we didn't have any other further flow, so it got problem flow assignment, but if you'll see, we were able to fill the data, name and city, right? So this is how it works, guys. That's it for the video. I know it's a bit longer video, right? But I felt like this is something which you would find might be interesting. So if you like this video, guys, hit the like button, subscribe my channel. Till then, bye bye.